Well, good morning. Bright and good morning. I tried putting my visor different spots, but no matter where I put it, I can't win because I'm doing on natural curves on the road. So if I put it over here, then the sun's shining through the front window. If I put it up here, then the sun's shining in the side window. It's right at that angle where it's kind of hitting both. So I've got a angelic face. But anyway, I've tried to do this video several times now, and sometimes when I do these videos they come out really good, and sometimes when I do them they take 100 times to get to the point where I'm comfortable with it. So I really want to talk about how special kids are. And if you want to joke, not in a Catholic way, but no, biblically, God has a special place for kids. And I really can't see. Doggone it, I just can't win. So God has a special place for kids. God has a place where there's an age of accountability where God guarantees you that if a kid dies or miscarriage or whatever, then the kid automatically goes up to heaven. There's no question. Which is awesome. There's a point of recognition where kids have the ability to be able to have a choice whether they want to be good or not. Up to a certain age, you just don't have that option. Some people, it varies. I mean, you have mental disorder, people with disabilities. There's some people that I think the age of accountability could be 100, their whole lifespan. I mean, they just don't have a grasp of making that choice. But in general, and they're still kids. Well, as adults, we're all kids, but we have age of accountability. That's the word I'm looking for. Age of accountability. That is the word. But kids are precious. God enjoys kids. God was doing sermons, and he had kids all over him. Just, I'm sure they were just climbing on him. You have the picture where he's holding the kids, and they're in his lap and stuff. And, they're like, well, teacher, you can't have these kids interrupt you. And he said, no, let the kids be. Kids are kids. I love kids. Kids are great. Kids are awesome. And leave the kids alone. Let me deal with them my own way. And he just loved on them. And it was tremendous. And it was awesome. And the kids just loved him because he was just the perfect parent. But anyway, going back to my statement, I am very, very proud of my daughter. She created a game when she was 5, based off Monopoly, but she's kind of worked on improving it. It's simple, but it is fun. And she's still working on it, but it is a fun game. And she created it. It's based off Monopoly, but it still is its own game. And it's fun. She has written books, kind of, for herself mostly, but she has written a few books. She's starting to get to that point where she can start really singing. It's starting to sound really beautiful. I've been working with her a little bit here or there. I've been saying, you need to work on this, you need to work on that. I know she wants me to be like, ooh, that's perfect and great and all sunshiny, and it's not the case. And I've been brutally honest, but I've also said, here's how you can improve. This is what you need to do to improve. And listening to critique has been easy for her because she's heard it from me, and she knows I'm doing it from a point of love, and she's tried to improve on those things. And it's not that I don't accept her, it's not that I don't think she's beautiful and sounds beautiful the way she is, but I know what she wants to shoot for. So giving her the whole I firmly believe that when you have a kid doing something, you stand there and you're like, well, that's good. That's really good. And that's all you say, no criticism, which I have seen on numerous occasions. The kid's not going to try to correct it. But if you stand there and say, this part's good, but this part needs work, you're giving a positive, negative. And you give them something to shoot for. I coached a softball team. I quit in the mid-season because of my health. But I quit there was other reasons too, but I quit in mid-season. And part of the reason it's being is because the kids wanted to sit there and they're used to hearing, well, you're this, I'm really happy about this. Okay, great. No, I sat there and I'm like, that's good, but I want to see this from you. I want to see you improve here and there. And as a coach, you got to do that. But sometimes people just don't want to appreciate that. You can't make a perfect statue unless you chip away the edges. And you can't chip away the edges unless you take the time to really look at it, critique it, and figure out what you want to do. My kid's the same way. She can sing. She sounds beautiful. Oh man, it's different. She was in choir this year. And I'll tell you what, how much of a difference that has made between last year and this year. And her energy level is just so high. I am so proud of her. Except for when she has an attitude. She's 13, so that attitude years are just going to get worse. They're here. But I am very proud of her. She wants to cook. Mostly simple things. I help her out with the more complicated things. But she literally kicks me out of the kitchen. Dad, I want this. Okay. And I'm like, okay, so I'm going to bring it home and you're going to cook it. She's like, well, I want you to cook it. You know you're going to kick me out when it's time. No. Maybe. You know me so well. By the time we got home, it was, you know me so well. And we got inside. The first thing she did is, Dad, I'm going to cook this. Stay out of the kitchen. Okay. I want to get a drink. Stay out of the kitchen. I'll bring it to you. Okay. Now she does ask me for help. Like when we do mac and cheese, she wants me to be the stirrer. Okay. If I do something more complicated, like make my own chili and stuff like that, then obviously I do it. If I grill, I do it. But yeah, she's trying to figure out how to do stuff, and she knows what she likes, and she tries to hit on those things, and that's great. But she is so creative. She has a gotcha life where she makes characters. She makes videos with it. Stuff I have no idea how she does it. I mean, I obviously I would love to have videos where I have, if I talk about football, I have pictures of guys, the guy throwing the ball or catching the ball. If I'm doing videos of games, I want to have a really good video where the game is, I'm showing portions of the game and able to pause and all that stuff. I'm doing off my phone. If I hit pause, it only gives me like 1 or 2 minutes. If I do stop, then I got to do a totally different video or else I can't do it. So I don't know how to do all the editing things that you do. And I've heard them say that, if you put on this such and such site, you can do this, do that. My daughter knows how to do some of that stuff. I have no idea. I mean, I grew up in a computer lab showing people how to deal with a floppy disk and how to go through the C drive. Or go through the D drive. And now the D drive is a disk drive. So, yeah, my computer graphics was basically Microsoft Paint, where I could, take the mouse and draw with it. And it never came out the way I wanted it, but I could do that. I could draw by hand. I had a Spider-Man. It took me about 7 hours when I was a kid. I think I was in 9th grade. And I did a picture of Spider-Man, and it took me about 9 hours. Off and on, through about a week time, in my sketchbook. And the picture was marvelous. I had all the details. I had the little lines between all that stuff. And then about a year later, I'm looking at it, I'm like, you know what? It's a good picture, but there's nothing in the background. So I made a background. I had him swinging from a rope, which he was already doing, but then I put a building behind him, and I did some other stuff. And I did the same thing with the Lamborghini. Took several hours, made a Lamborghini Countach, drew it. I then took a, going a little fast. I then took a good look at it, really liked how it looked, and I made a street corner. And I had a name of a shop on the windows and everything. But my daughter can do it on a computer. The point of what I was getting to was the fact that my daughter can do that all on a computer, and it looks just graphic, but really good. Well, mostly on her phone. But she is fantastic. And just, I am so proud of her. So I guess the thing I'm going to challenge you guys is to give me things that you are challenged about what your kids do. Why are you so proud of your kids? Why are you happy that your kids are the way they are? What is it about your kids that make you feel special about them? I'm not sure I'm wording that the right way, but you guys know what I mean. Leave me some comments. Why are you proud of your kids? Leave it in the comments. Like and share my video. Subscribe to my channel. I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing this because I would just like to know that I'm inspiring people. That's my goal of my channel, is to inspire. So, I know most everybody, when they have a channel, have a purpose, video games, whatever. Mine is for inspiration. And I want inspiration, but I also want truth and honesty. And there's going to be things I'm going to say on this that could be controversial. But like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment and tell me what you guys think. You guys have a good day. And why are you proud of your kids?